with John Cooke, one of the two owners of Raglan Road, which is one of my favorite downtown Disney restaurants. If you like Irish food, this is the place. And I was just kind of wondering if you could expand a little bit for us on what inspired you to bring Graham's art here to Raglan Road so everybody who comes to visit can enjoy it.
I suppose the inspiration I've been a long time admirer of Graham's art. I'm a Dubliner, Graham's a Dubliner, and certainly part of the fabric of modern Dublin is Graham's art. And as I said earlier when I was kind of talking, we see Raglan Road as being an ambassador, I suppose, in many respects for Ireland heritage in a historical standpoint, but also as much about Ireland of today as yesterday. And to my mind, Graham's art is very much speaking of a modern Ireland, an Ireland that's probably a little more confident than it was historically, an Ireland that's prepared to be a little braver and brash in terms of its outlook on the world and its use of colour, and also Graham's art is a little bit irreverent. So within our brand, or within Raglan Road, we generally mirror the personality of what it is to be Irish, and not taking ourselves too seriously, with humour, being a little bit irreverent, slightly tongue-in-cheek is very much kind of part and parcel of who we are. All about having fun and enjoying life, and Graham's paintings speak to that. They're full of wit, they're full of humour, they're full of the enjoyment of life, they're full of colour, full of vibrancy. So for us, in how it speaks to being Irish today, it very much kind of fits with what we're about. And as I said, being a huge fan of Graham's art for many, many years, it was always an aspiration of ours to have at least some of Graham's art in the book, let alone having a piece that was specifically commissioned and painted for the book. So we're absolutely thrilled to have it here today, to have it unveiled at last, for the enjoyment of our guests for many months and years to come.
Absolutely, and kind of jumping back to history too. Now you've got that modern personality, and you were mentioning that there's actually, like the wood paneling, for example, that there's a lot of historic aspects to Raglan Road itself as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the pub as it's designed is very much turn of the century Victorian Dublin pub. So the architecture and the style of it is very true and authentic to a great Dublin Victorian pub, and there are many great examples still in Dublin as you wander around. That pubs that were originally built in the early 1800s are still there today, almost exactly as they were put together back then. So in order to achieve that kind of, I suppose, that aesthetic and that kind of value, we use an awful lot of architectural salvage within the pub. So the front panelling on both our bars dates back to early 1800s. The wood panelling in this room here comes from an Irish country house, which we believe was originally put together in the late 1700s. So that heritage feel and that quality and that sense of history in place is very key to the authenticity of what we're trying to put together here. So it's not contrived, it's very much real, and I think that becomes tangible in the guest experience. So we strive, and it's not the easiest thing in the world to do to find pubs that are no longer in use. Architectural salvage is harder and harder to come by. But we're very pleased when we do find something that's got some value we can put to good future use, such as the panel room here at Raglan Road.
So it's almost like a little oasis of World Showcase, but you've got Ireland here in downtown Disney.
It kind of is. It's I suppose we refer to Raglan Road as being the life and soul of Ireland. So it's the building creates the context, and it's important to create the context. So that's why it's important from Ireland. That's why we use as much heritage and architectural salvage as we can in putting it together. But ultimately, actually, what it really comes down to is the sense of hospitality and the sense of sociability and the sense of warmness, and that's really what an Irish pub is ultimately about. It's about community, sociability, friendliness, accessibility, a warmth of sociability, and that's really what makes it work. What makes it take. The architectural salvage and the physicality of it is the kind of suit of clothes, but the personality and the character really comes from people, those that work here, and all our guests who come and enjoy. It's all about the people.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome. I'm glad you could join us on such a special day.